Many leaders want to create a culture of appreciation in their organizations, but they're not quite sure what to do. So today, I want to share some simple activities that you can use to nurture a culture of appreciation on your team. Today, I'm going to give you 6 activities that you can use that take little or no preparation, and many of them, you can use them over and over and over again. So the first one I want to share with you is called the Fantastic Five. And this is a great one to use both personally and with our teams. And I actually even use it with my daughter most nights at bedtime. Now, the Fantastic Five is 5 questions that we ask ourselves on a regular basis that get us to step out of focusing on all the things that we didn't do and take a moment to look at all the things that we did. Now, here are the 5 questions. What is one thing I accomplished, one person I helped or supported, one memorable moment, one thing I learned, and one thing I'm proud of? So the reason why we ask these questions is it's really easy to focus on all the things that we didn't do and forget to focus on all the things that we did. And one of the ways that we drive ourselves to burnout and our employees burn themselves out is that they're only looking at all the work that they didn't do. And so if you ask this question and you either answer all 5 of them on a daily basis or even on a weekly basis, at the end of the year, you have 52 things that you accomplished, 52 memorable moments, 52 things that you're proud of and that you've learned. And just by doing it, you get people present to those things in their lives. On a personal level, I actually do this activity with my daughter at the end of the day sometimes. So at bedtime, we'll lay down. I'll go, hey, what was a memorable moment today? Or what's one thing you're proud of? Or one thing you accomplished? And here's a really cool thing that happened. A couple months back, I was not in a great space. I was burnt out, I was fried, I was at the dinner table, and my daughter just kind of looked over to me and she goes, hey, Papa, why don't we do that Fantastic Five thing? And honestly, I was a little pissed off that she did it to me, but what I was really proud of is she saw that I needed to do it. So give it a shot. Try to do it on a regular basis. Try to do it with your team. And another cool thing, take out a dice and you can come up with whatever the 6th thing is. Roll the dice, and then the person needs to answer that question in the group. Now, another cool thing that you can do with your team is what I call the compliment list. And there's a couple different ways to do this. What you can do is, if you're in person, write everybody's name on a sheet of paper. And maybe you're sitting at a boardroom table or something like that, or a conference room table. Or you can do this online and just create a survey monkey or a survey thing and put everybody's name in one category right there. Then what you do is you have everybody write one thing that they appreciate about people, and you have everybody hand those sheets around. Now, this can be a little awkward at first to do this, and people are like, what do you appreciate for people? So give people some prompts to think about. Hey, what's one thing that you've learned from this person recently? Or what's one thing that you really admire about this person? Or what's something that they do that makes you laugh? And give them ideas of things that they can recognize them for. Now, what you do is have everybody go around and write these things. Another cool way you can do this is put it up on the wall and have everybody's name on a sheet of paper, and then people walk around and they write notes to those people. But then afterwards, what you have is you have a list of compliments from people on their team. People can sign the compliments they do, or they can be completely anonymous. But that person takes that compliment list and they have it and they can keep it with them for years to come. Now, another fun thing that you can do with this, if you happen to use something like SurveyMonkey to do it and everybody just fills it in online if you have a remote team, you can also create word clouds of the compliments that people gave or what were some of the themes. And another thing is you can put people's name and have people write a compliment, and then below it you could say, what are the words or adjectives you'd use to describe this person, and have people write them in, and then make a word cloud of all the different words they use to describe them. The next is stories of everyday greatness. Have you ever noticed the thing that happens when you meet a couple at a dinner party and maybe they're frustrated with one another and they're sitting like this and they're not really talking to one another, and then you ask them, well, how'd the two of you meet? And then instantly they go from frustrated and angry, and then they go into their routine and their story about how they met and all the things and how they fell in love and da-da-da, and they met at the bar and whatever it was. Because when people reflect back on positive moments, it actually brings them back to the emotions of that moment. And so when our people are burned out and fried, one great thing we can do is say, hey, tell me a story of one of your proudest moments at work. Or tell me a story of providing really great patient care, or one of those moments that reminds you of why you love doing what you do. And maybe it's a little manipulative to do this, but by asking that question, it triggers people to go back to why they chose the career that they did. And I often use this when I work with a lot of hospitals and a lot of people at healthcare, and I'll always ask that question. And you'll be amazed at how many people in the room start crying when they go back and they share the story of the family member who held their hand when their loved one was passing away. And they get back to telling those stories that remind them of why they were doing what they're doing. And so it's both a win-win that helps them celebrate in that moment and get present to why they do what they do. Now, another simple one we can do is what I call the 3W check-in. And I've shared this in some of my other videos, and I just really love this one. And it's something that I heard from, I was doing a program with the executive education program at the University of Dayton. And someone shared this in one of their programs. At the end of every week, in their end of the week meeting, one of the things that they do is they actually ask in their one-on-ones and their team meeting for everybody to answer the 3 W's. What was one win from this week? What was some wall that you're up against, some challenge that they're facing? And what is your plans for the weekend? And just by answering those 3 questions, we celebrate our accomplishments together, we get present to the challenges that people are facing, and we learn about what people are doing in their free time. And so it's a simple way, just through conversation, it helps us get present to some of the things that people are dealing with in their life and the things that they're proud of, so we can celebrate as well. The next one I want to share is a recognition line. And there's a couple different ways to be able to do it. And I want to share a way to be able to do this in person and a way to be able to do it virtually as well. And this is more ideal to be able to do it if you're in a larger group of people, maybe 10 or more people. What you're going to do is you're going to put 5 chairs in the middle and 5 chairs on the outside facing each other. And then you're just going to sit people across from each other and just share, here, what is one thing that you're proud of? Or one thing that you've been working on that you're excited about, and have one person share, and then the other person just acknowledge them for what they share, and then have them go in the opposite direction. Then have the inner circle rotate 1 chair in 1 direction, and then have that conversation with somebody else. Just note that when you do something like this, people are going to squirm, they're going to complain, but I want to say that I've probably done this over 100 times. Although people squirm at first, by the 5th time they've done it, they're like, that was really great, I really enjoyed it. Many times we need to push people through the discomfort of celebrating the things that are working in our lives. Now, if you are in a remote team, all you're going to do is you're going to put people into breakout rooms. What you can do is put everyone into breakout rooms and then have the person with the shortest hair in each group change the first letter in their name on Zoom to A. And then what you're going to do is just rotate everybody over into the next room and group A, and then everybody gets a chance to talk with different people, and that's the same way of being able to do it. Now, the last one is appreciation prompts. Many times we get so busy that we forget to just pause long enough to appreciate the people around us. And so one thing that you can do, and I've included this in several articles that I've written in my book, 75 Team Building Activities for Remote Teams, I have these prompts included in that book, and you can find that book on Amazon. I'll put a link to in the video description. But what you can do is just send prompts that remind people to recognize people. Like today, thank a person in IT for the 364 days a year that their computer actually works. Today, thank a person in payroll for you getting your paycheck on time every single week. Remind people and nudge people to appreciate and thank people in your life. Hey, thank somebody this week that you learned something from. This week, thank somebody who always makes you laugh. Thank somebody who flies under the radar but does really great work. And send those prompts out to people to nudge others to recognize each other as well. Hey, recognize a person from your past that you really value but you haven't talked to in a long time. And just by doing that, we nudge more appreciation and expression of recognition in our workplaces, and in our lives. So in this video, I shared a bunch of activities that you can use. Just pick one of them today that you want to try in the next week. And if you do nothing else at all, simply just ask somebody in your life, hey, you know what, we don't connect all the time. What's one thing that you're proud of or you want to be recognized or appreciated for? They may be wondering why you're asking that question and if you're dying, but just say, hey, I just watched a YouTube video and I hadn't really thought about that question for myself, and I'm curious, what would be your answer to that question? And you'll be surprised at how that conversation goes. Now, do you have additional ideas? Well, let me know in the comments below, and together, let's work on building cultures of appreciation together and share those resources so we can make all of our workplaces the kind of ones where we feel valued and appreciated every day. I'm Chris Littlefield. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video, but even more so, thank you for being the kind of leader who cares enough to try to find ways to nurture a culture where people feel valued every day. Because people shouldn't go one day feeling like who they are or what they contribute doesn't matter. So thank you for being that kind of leader.